of the mob. We're going to do a JCS style. We're going to do a JCS style visual investigation into the January 6th. We didn't watch it. I clicked on it the other day and I never played. Man, you go to the toilet very often. Have you been checked for diabetes? Yes, dude. Your mom checked me for diabetes after sucking my cock, okay? What the fuck is wrong with people, dude? I can't even fucking pee regularly without motherfuckers being like, dude, you probably have diabetes. Stop backseating my health, okay? God damn. It is so intrusive and so incredibly fucking annoying. It literally makes me not want to fucking stream. Makes me so fucking mad, dude. Like, I literally can't go pee without people being like, oh, you must have diabetes, dude. You should probably get checked. Stop crying, lol. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just understand that it's fucking annoying when people backseat literally every single aspect of my life. You're so sensitive, lol. Yeah, I know. There you go. Fuck. I'm a fucking human being, guys, okay? And I get frustrated when you micromanage every aspect of my life. Very annoying. It's actually just a boundary that I am setting, okay? Please. Don't know why people immediately retort with like, why so sensitive, dude? It's like, you would never do this. Like, there is no other world in which you go up to a random person, okay, that you don't know personally, or even a person that you know personally, and behave this way. But for some reason, it's like, I'm the content monkey on the other side of the camera, and it's always like, it's just weird. You read this, I hope you remember your man's Justice Stanton. What's up, African Snowball? Yeah, I remember you. Of course. I don't get why you would set boundaries. Other better streamers let us walk all over them and take over their lives. Be a puppet and give us our ad break. I already did the ad break. Okay, let's get into it. We're watching the riot.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it...
You can always get a job if you're unhappy being self-employed. Well, the wonderful part about this is that despite the fact that you've given me $15, when you're being a fucking incredibly annoying dick, one of the beautiful parts about that is that I can set my own boundaries. Okay? Here's a boundary. If you're going to be a fucking unaware dickhead with zero self-awareness and condescending dipshit, then I can just ban you and never hear about you or never think about you for the rest of my fucking life, which is awesome, okay? I know you feel entitled because you gave me $15 fucking over the course of 3 months. So you think like, well, no, he's going to sit here and take all this shit. Well, the beautiful part about it is that I don't have to do that, which is precisely why I do this rather than, you know, work under someone else. All right, let's watch.
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Creepy as fuck.
They came from all 50 states. Out of some sense of patriotic duty.
It's so much more than just rallying for President Trump. It's really rallying for our way of life, the American dream, against fake news.
To protest an election they believed had been stolen.
We're here, Patriots. We're in Washington, D.C., Capitol building dead in front of us.
Their day of action would be January 6th.
House comes to order.
when Congress would count electoral ballots and ratify the 2020 election results. For some, it was just a rally for their president. For others, it was a call to arms.
We have the power in numbers. March on Congress directly after Trump's speech.
In the weeks beforehand, there were over 1 million mentions on social media of storming the Capitol. Maps were shared of the building's layout. There was talk of bringing weapons and ammunition, and discussion over which lawmakers should be targeted first. This anger was based on a lie.
This election was a fraud.
A lie that had grown more frenzied after the election.
President Trump won this election.
They were flipping votes.
Steal the election in Philadelphia.
When you win in a landslide, and they
steal the election in Atlanta,
and it's rigged.
Steal the election in Milwaukee.
It's not acceptable.
This is outrageous.
A lie spread by the president and his closest allies.
Let's call out cheating when we find it.
Some of whom stoked calls for violence.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow. Everyone's going to remember who actually stands in the breach and fights tomorrow and who goes running off like a chicken.
We bleed freedom.
This will be their Waterloo.
And we will sacrifice for freedom.
This will be their destruction.
So here's the thing. And this needs to be repeated regularly, okay? What these guys were doing, okay? What these guys were doing and what they continue to do is what Republicans have always done. And that is lie about the elections consistently being stolen. That's literally all they fucking do. The only way to justify aggressively limiting who can vote is by originally creating this false notion, this understanding that there is a election that is being stolen by illegal immigrants or whatever the fuck. And everyone, all the way from Donald Trump to all of these other Republicans, down to Paul Ryan, who is seen as like the reasonable Republican, has always cast doubt on the integrity of American elections. The George W. Bush administration, despite doing fraud themselves, literally had a election integrity committee. The Donald Trump administration had an election integrity committee. All of those committees found that there was no electoral fraud, or rather, not electoral fraud, there was no voter fraud beyond such marginal instances that it is laughable to spend any time trying to right this wrong or trying to correct it. The existing measures are more than enough. The real problem in America is not necessarily that too many people are voting. It's that not enough people are voting. Let's keep going.
What happened next was chaos.
They broke the glass.
Insurrection.
Take it now! Jesus!
Death. Then there began a campaign to whitewash history, starting at the top.
It was a zero threat. Right from the start, it was zero threat.
And spreading throughout the Republican Party.
Even calling it an insurrection, it wasn't. By and large, it was peaceful protests.
One lawmaker who helped barricade the House doors now suggests there was barely any threat.
If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
A tourist visit?
I mean, they're not wrong. Cops did open up the floodgates, as you would a normal tourist visit. So I guess, you know, I'm confused. I wonder if this congressperson always barricades the doors at the normal tourist visits that are happening. I mean, there is no better. We talk about this and it's a fucking cliche, but I mean, this is literally like, well, it's okay if white people are doing it. That's it. Well, are they conservative? Are they white? It's all right then. They're not terrorists. They're doing it for a good cause, brother. They're not insurrectionists. They're doing it for a good cause, brother. That's it.
This was not. And the proof is in the footage. As part of a 6-month investigation,
Dude, Dude. 5 people die at the Capitol every day, dude. I mean, normal tourist visits end up with 5 dead, like, all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. With, like, cops being trampled. You know, people violently breaking into the Capitol literally every day.
The New York Times has collected and forensically analysed thousands of videos, most filmed by the rioters themselves. We obtained internal police radio traffic and went to court to unseal police body cam footage. Our reconstruction shows the Capitol riot for what it was: a violent assault encouraged by the president on a seat of democracy that he vowed to protect. We'll chart how police leaders failed to heed warnings of an impending attack, putting...
The most beautiful part about this all was that it was conservatives, therefore they had no care in, you know, hiding what they were doing. Like, they were just so... They were so confident that nothing was going to happen to them that they literally live streamed them breaking into the fucking Capitol.
Rank and file officers in danger.
Pretty awesome.
We'll track key instigators in the mob, taking advantage of weaknesses in the Capitol's defences to ignite a wave of violence that engulfed the building. We'll show for the first time the many simultaneous points of attack and the 8 breaches of what appeared to be an impenetrable institution of government. We'll show how the delay to secure Congress likely cost a rioter her life.
But when it's BLM protests, they conveniently have enough police to squash them. Shut up, dude. You're talking to me, or are you talking to the person who's making this video? I mean, we watched videos from that day where cops literally let them in and were high-fiving them and taking photos with some of the people. There are currently ongoing investigations within the Capitol Hill Police Department, which is obviously not going to go anywhere because, come on, cops investigating other cops, that will look into whether or not there was a little bit of inside baseball. If you think that a crowd of black people upset about the way policing works in this country would be able to get this far into the Capitol building, you are delusional. Into Congress, you are out of your mind. That was just never, ever happened.
And how for some, storming the Capitol was part of the plan all along.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
It's literally a Nazi, dude. It's baked Alaska. The Nazi has better wherewithal than the Trump supporter boomer. Like, I'll say it. I'll say all the bad things. I'll say it.
All right. We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
He just said, shut the fuck up, boomer.
It's the morning of January 6th, and thousands are filling the National Mall in Washington. Trump will speak here at the Ellipse, a large park near the White House, and a half-hour walk to the US Capitol, where the election will be certified. Who's actually in this crowd? Most are ordinary.
Hi, Son. Sorry for being annoying, but the dude who sexually assaulted me and a bunch of other girls loved you and watches you all the time. He calls himself a leftist just to get girls' trust. I know you would hate him, and I just want to call... What? I know you would hate him and just want you to call dudes out who called themselves leftists as a front? What? That vegetarian girl? What the fuck? This person kept spamming this for 30 hours? What is going on? Okay. Yeah, fuck that guy. Don't do that? I don't know what to say. Not 30 hours, but 30 minutes. I don't know what you want me to do about it. But I'm sorry that that happened to you. You know? wants you to call those people out. It's in the message you read. Okay. Don't be a fake leftist to do sexual assault. Please. Was yeah. Don't do that. I'm sorry that I can't do more. All right, let's keep going.
Citizens who believe Trump's lie that the election was stolen.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be wild, as Trump says.
But we also see more extreme groups who've gained a following during Trump's presidency. There are followers of the QAnon conspiracy,
Drinking their blood, eating our babies.
who believe that Trump is facing down a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Q posts often invoke notions of patriotism.
You are responsible for the social interactions caused by the parasocial relationships teenagers develop with you? Dude, what is happening, dude? We got some fucking real weirdos in the chat today,
and predict
dude.
a coming storm.
I literally set boundaries and try to push back against developing like parasocial relationships on a daily basis. And the moment that I do that, people get upset. I think it was a joke, but just for anyone who doesn't realize that that's a joke, anyone who takes that seriously, I just want to make sure that you understand that I do that on purpose.
And ahead of January 6th, some supporters call for violence. The Oath Keepers, a far-right paramilitary group, are also here.
We have men already stationed outside D.C.
Their leader has said the group is ready to follow Trump's...
That guy, Stuart Rhodes, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, has a really funny story where I am almost certain that he has an eye patch because I think he's a gun safety instructor, and I think he took out his own eye with a gun, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on. Murat knows like people that know him and was telling me about it. Yeah, he's a concealed carry firearms instructor. Yeah, I was right. He literally, he took out his eye while working as a firearm safety instructor.
Trump's orders and take members of what they call the deep state into custody. They're organized, staging their military-style equipment neatly on the ground. And later, they put on body armor, talk on radios, and chat with their supporters on a walkie-talkie app called Zello.
We have a good group. We got about 30, 40 of us. We're sticking together and sticking to the plan. Y'all, we're 1 block away from the Capitol now. I'm probably going to go silent when I get there because I'm going to be a little busy.
Another group is the Proud Boys. They're far-right nationalists who flash...
I love that they have Enrique Tarrio did nothing wrong shirts, and the real reason why Enrique Tarrio wasn't even there was because he was brought in on gun charges the day before, because he's literally a fucking Fed. Like, he's literally an asset for, I guess, the FBI. Like, that's literally what fucking people do to their CIs, okay? They pull out their informants in instances where their informants are probably gonna be faced to do something like that will land them in trouble. It's great. I mean, these hogs, they deserve everything that's coming.
White power signs throughout the day.
Check out all this testosterone.
They became a household name when Trump invoked them during a presidential debate.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
And that's what they did. They have a history of street violence and will be key instigators of the riot. We'll return to them soon. Although the rally is billed as a political protest, some make calls to storm the Capitol even before Trump speaks.
We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction.
And later, when Trump does take the stage,
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
some hear his words as a call to action.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Invade the Capitol building.
Do the right thing.
Take the Capitol.
Take
it.
Take the
Capitol.
Take
the Capitol right now.
We'll soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
2 hours before this, the Proud Boys were already heading for the Capitol.
How could they have gotten this idea? Where could they have gotten this idea to march and storm the Capitol? That's so strange. It's kind of interesting the way that they shot this, though. When they put it side by side, it clearly, you know, paints a much better picture.
They're clearly spoiling for a fight with far-left agitators like Antifa, who they believe...
By the way, you know they knew they fucked up, because the original counter to this, even though it was like literally indefensible, was Antifa must have done it, if you recall. And that is basically the greatest self-report of all time, because like, oh, our people could not have done such a thing. It must have been Antifa. As in, what happened there was unacceptable. So that kind of made it a little bit harder for them to go back and then try to defend the actions.
Believer in DC.
Where's Antifa?
But there are moments that suggest another motive.
Take the fucking Capitol. Come on, tighten up. Tighten up, my boy.
Let's not fucking yell that, all right?
They're organized too. Many are marked with orange tape or hats.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys. And those are the boys marching with us. We got hidden guys everywhere.
They're wearing body armor, carrying baseball bats, and using radios.
That's affirmative. Yes, here. This is Tucker.
Leading them is Ethan Nordine, who's been entrusted with so-called war powers. He's joined by other well-known Proud Boys, like Joe Biggs, an organizer from Florida, Dominic Pezzola, a former Marine, and Billy Crestman. They will be among the first rioters inside the Capitol building.
Proud Boys.
As Trump is speaking,
They're just having fun with their bros, brother. I didn't know that was illegal. That's what the libtards want. They want to make fun illegal, brother. Unacceptable, let me tell you. They want to take our fun time away. And I fucking hate it, brother. I despise it.
Speaking, some of his other supporters also head to the Capitol.
Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets!
And the tone is becoming menacing.
We're gonna storm the fucking Capitol. Fuck you fuckers.
USA! USA!
We are gonna be doing crimes. I'm gonna be doing federal crimes in a moment. Do you understand me? I will be doing felonies, sir. Do you have this in 4K? Look at my face. My name is John Haverton Carlson III. Okay? I'm from Arkansas. Do you understand? I own an HVAC company, and I am doing a felony. Okay? Watch me do felonies.
Just ahead, officers guarding the building are understaffed and ill-equipped for what's coming their way.
You gotta stop us!
The building is more than 2 football fields in length, and barricades erected on the east side are defended by just a few dozen officers. The west side, facing Trump's rally, is even lighter. The fencing has been extended, and on the northwest approach only 5 officers stand guard. Around 5 also defend the southwest approach, a few more dot the lawn, and about a dozen officers are
literally understaffed because they were too busy participating in the fucking insurrection. Oh man. I fucking love, dude. This was the greatest hog content of all time. Like, it was also in many ways perfect because like yeah, liberals say like this is, you know, this is the worst thing that happened. This is like 9/11. I disagree. It was like, it was a hog insurrection. So it was content. It was. And it was laughable.
Behind them.
Luckily.
Plans to storm the Capitol were made in plain sight. But the FBI and Department of Homeland Security did not deem those threats as credible.
We will take that duty!
Capitol police leaders and Washington's mayor were warned at least 3 times of violent threats, but also didn't take them seriously or circulate that information. And they declined offers of security personnel from federal and other agencies. They could have enlisted several hundred more Capitol Police for duty on January 6th, but did not.
We are taking our house!
And none of the officers on the barricades have protective gear or crowd control equipment. As a result, the Capitol is sparsely defended. It's 12:50 p.m. and a large group of Proud Boys is with other protesters right by the Capitol Police line.
I got a feeling they believe those 5 officers are going to stop some shit.
Joe Biggs is rallying them when he's approached by Ryan Samsel, a Trump supporter from Pennsylvania. They chat, we don't know about what. But a minute later, Samsel is the first to approach the police line. And it's now that the protest turns violent. Without hesitation, the crowd overpowers the police.
It's just so weird because like they talked about how they were going to do this and authorities knew that they were going to do this, and yet they didn't like staff appropriately for this sort of thing. That part is kind of weird to me and will still continue to be weird to me. That is the suspicious part about this process, is that they just kind of like, just kind of let it happen. Good thing they were white, or else they would have been killed on the spot. I mean, yeah, one of them did get killed, so Ashley Babbitt. The Joe Biden admin wanted it, maybe, lol. The Joe Biden admin that had no power at the time. They weren't in power.
Nearby, a second group breaks through on another approach. Others jump fences. And now hundreds of rioters rush forward on several fronts.
DC is a...
Honestly, it was probably Obabe. It was Obabe's fault, brother. I realized that wearing an incel shirt with gun holsters makes it a little bit more weird. I should probably just wear like my regular K Kona stuff instead of that.
Motherfucking Warzone! Fucking Warzone! Forward!
Police retreat to the Capitol building, where it's becoming more threatening.
This is what we came for, yeah!
A mob mentality begins to take hold. Police are so outnumbered, they're forced to retreat again to more tightly defend access points to the Capitol. It's now 5 minutes into the siege that the Capitol Police Chief calls for backup from local law enforcement, known as the Metropolitan Police, and asks other Capitol leaders to mobilize the National Guard.
You took an oath! Does that not mean a damn thing to you, does it?
Metro Police...
Yeah, you're supposed to let us in, motherfucker. Took an oath. You're supposed to protect and serve the whites. The whites. You son of a gun! Are the guns out of frame? No, I mean, it's in frame. There's one. You know where I was on January 6th? I mean, you know where I was on January 6th. I was just watching it in 4K with most of you. So many people just sat around in their houses with their families and watched me watch these fucking hogs do all of these things.
Police will arrive within 15 minutes, but for reasons we'll explain later, the National Guard won't arrive for over 4 hours.
Back up.
Meanwhile, more Capitol Police come to reinforce the line. It's the first time we see officers in riot gear. But most are missing their shields because they had not prepared to unlock the storage area where that equipment is kept. Proud boys like Billy Crestman keep rallying the mob.
Whose house is it? Do you want your house back? Take it! Take it!
Yes, a fun fact is that people routinely forget is that big chunk, a big chunk of the police force are just conservative, straight up.
And again, they start brawling with the police. Minutes later, reinforcements from the Metro Police arrive. A high-ranking Metro officer immediately calls for more backup.
Get you 12 up to help maintain the lines. They're throwing firecrackers.
Oh! God damn, dude, that's crazy. He just lobbed a grenade right at him.
They struggle to subdue rioters, who respond with their own chemical spray. And within 30 minutes, the police already have casualties.
Multiple capital injuries.
Bro, is it just me? Like, watching this makes me want to play Rust, dude. I don't know if it's because I was playing Rust back then and it's just like making me remember feelings of Rust, like playing Rust, or because like it's just all out chaotic like Rust.
Multiple capital injuries.
This first wave of rioters battling police has paved the way across Capitol grounds for others to follow. And after Trump finishes speaking, thousands more now fill this space. Meanwhile, inside the Capitol, Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence have begun certifying the 2020 presidential election results. Certification will happen on both sides of the building, in the House and the Senate. And this is what the rioters want to stop. An hour into the assault, the mob is battling a police line here.
Yeah. Who can forget when XQC called in to understand what the fuck was going on? And his first reaction was, dude, what did they have, like, rocket-proof doors, dude? Why don't they put the machine guns, dude, at the doors, dude?
Here, along the west face of the Capitol. But that violence is now going to spread to multiple points of attack, as West Side rioters stream around the Capitol and incite the crowd on the east. Here's what that crowd looks like on the east. They're aware of the siege happening on the west side, and some are emboldened by it. But up until now, they've been kept behind the barricades. Then, this group from the west storms around the building and pushes right through the barriers. The police here barely put up a fight. And it's now that protesters all along the east barricades surge forward. Officers are overwhelmed from several directions. and retreat to guard Capitol entrances. But these rioters believe they've been deputized by their president to stop a crime. And now they start trying to get into the building itself.
Fucking owned, dude. I remember this happening in real time. It's like a zombie invasion, dude.
The Capitol is now surrounded. Rioters haven't made it inside yet, but around the time that the mob on the east pushed forward, rioters on the west were making a pivotal move. This scaffolding was erected for the upcoming inauguration of Joe Biden. It covers a staircase that gives direct access to an upper level, and dozens of doors and windows. 3 police lines guard that route. But at ground level, officers are so overwhelmed that just a few cover this crucial access point. Several Proud Boys see the weakness.
These are real stairs. We're shadowed over here. Stairs are right there. Head over. Take the stairs! Take the stairs!
Proud Boys start fighting the police, and with others in the mob, they push through the line. Over several minutes, it's a brutal fight on these steps.
It's kind of funny thinking, like, I mean, this happened 6 months ago, right? And it's kind of wild that that's all it takes for, this guy's a hammer, that's all it takes for people to just act like it was totally normal. And that it's just not a big deal and people shouldn't freak out about it. So much so that conservatives have started getting into the counter messaging around it, i.e., who shot Ashley Babbitt? Why do we not have answers for who shot Ashley Babbitt? Like, they have made out this QAnon person who is a victim. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she was a victim. She was first a victim to QAnon, which radicalized her, and then also a victim to police violence. But now conservatives are making it seem like she was there doing something honorable and defensible. Like, it's wild how quickly we have forgotten.
At one point, the rioters are held back.
I've never seen up close footage like this, though. This is kind of cool to see.
But they make a final push up the flight of stairs. At the top, they scuffle again with a small group of officers.
She deserved it, in my opinion. She had no reason to be there. I disagree. No, I said it back then, and I will say it again. She did not deserve to be murdered, dude. No shot. Yeah. Handcuff her. Okay. Detain her. Fine. No one deserves to be murdered, dude. You guys are crazy. Like, a lot of chatters unironically have the opinion that, like, you know, an instance of police brutality is acceptable if it's done to my enemies. And sure, you might actually have the correct worldview that's more ethical and more, you know, more caring and considerate of marginalized groups versus Ashley Babbitt, who does not. But you're still unironically saying that, like, the state should have the monopoly on violence on people that it decides is bad and should be murdered.
Who give in after barely a minute.
Stop following orders! Stop! You know we're right!
The mob now has direct access to Capitol entrances.
I can't believe this is reality. We accomplished this shit.
And hundreds more protesters below.
Think of all of them. How close to killing legislators do you have to be deservedly incapacitated? Well, what the fuck? How did I just pull the second chat in here. That's crazy. Deservedly incapacitated. Brother, she was murdered. Okay? She didn't have a fucking gun. She was murdered. That's crazy. It's not necessary to like murder someone to defend the congresspersons inside of the halls. Okay? I'm sorry. Ashley Babbitt didn't deserve it. Also was on 17-year-old black girl deserted because knife. If Ashley Babbitt had a knife and was trying to fucking stab a congressperson, do you think I wouldn't defend the cop killing her? Are you stupid? If Ashley Babbitt had a knife and was charging at a person, not even a congressperson, but just like anyone, and a cop shot them, then yes, that would be a defensible police action. Why is this so fucking hard for people to comprehend, dude? I'm so confused. Ashley was grabbing the cop's gun. No, she wasn't. You're making that up. No, she got clapped as she tried to break through the window, as she tried to go in through the window. I watched it live. She got murdered while she was climbing through a window, dude.
Surge forward.
Let's go! Seize his arms!
It's utter mayhem, and it's about to get worse. The scene is being filmed from countless angles, allowing us to piece together, moment by moment, what comes next. Proud Boy Dominic Pizzola uses a police shield he stole to bash in a window. And at two...
It was the last line of defense. They would have gone in and killed every dem in there. Dude, you are insane, okay? Like, we don't know that. And also, they did get in. And they stole a bunch of shit and took photos. That's it. Dude points a gun at her, says, "Don't come through that barrier or I'll shoot." Bitch breaks through and proceeds to come through the barrier with intent to harm. Azan, I don't know, put her in handcuffs or something? Yes. I know. It's crazy that I have consistent and firm and well-held beliefs that the barrier for violent escalation should be when someone is in immediate threat. Okay? When someone is immediately in danger. She didn't have a gun. She didn't have a weapon. She was crawling through a fucking window and she got murdered. And I don't think that that's okay. If you're having a hard time comprehending that, imagine she was black and doing it for her protest against police brutality or something. Not that she was, and not that there needs to be a justifiable reason to protest rather than an unjustifiable one. Okay? But maybe you will understand it. Bad analogy. No, shut the fuck up. Bad analogy, my ass. My point is, you don't need to have... Like, what is your take? Wait, I'm sorry. So, it's okay to just murder Republicans? Like, what the fuck? Police brutality is good when it's against Republicans? What the fuck? Some of you need to just, you know, sit down, take a breather, and just try to comprehend. I wish you would never, ever talk about black people. We don't deserve this. What? Okay. There's a difference between protesting police brutality and racism and trying to overthrow a government. No, I do understand that difference. But ultimately, the violent action that the cop took there, in my opinion, was too much. Murdering someone climbing through a window is still, unfortunately, unacceptable. When I look at instances of police brutality, I don't look to see what the person's background is so I can decide whether it's a justifiable kill or not. I look to the immediate actions. And the immediate actions within Ashley Babbitt's circumstance was that she was not listening to the demands that the cops were making and climbing through a fucking window. And she got shot for not complying. If she was lunging at someone, whether it be a cop or whether it be someone else with a weapon in her hands, and then she got shot, that would be a little different. We're talking about the lady who got shot on January 6th. Even if the left was sympathetic, it didn't help when the right tried to co-opt Say Her Name slogan, almost shitting on BLM all year. Yeah. No, the cop that shot her was investigated and deemed to be doing the right thing. Is this chat that's supposed to be a bunch of woke leftists automatically going to now say that that's a good thing, that police investigated the matter and found no wrongdoing, so therefore there was no wrongdoing? Please go ahead. Tell me about how cops policing themselves is a appropriate and just situation.
2:13 p.m., the Capitol is breached. Michael Sparks, a Trump supporter from Kentucky, is the first person inside. A police officer seems unsure of what to do and backs off. Sparks is followed by Proud Boys and other far-right extremists, one carrying a Confederate flag, another armed with a baseball bat. When rioters break open the locked doors, hundreds more rush in. This is a critical moment. Officers must now defend the outside and inside of the building, stretching them even further. Simultaneous events now happen that are critical to lawmakers' safety. Rioters head.
I get what you're saying, but it's kind of naive. Those hogs wanted to lynch AOC and Ilhan and everyone else. They weren't going to stop until somebody was shot. Like, it's complicated, dude. I mean, but they didn't stop. They did not stop after Ashley Babbitt was shot. So I don't know why you guys keep saying that. They literally did not stop. The only thing that stopped them is when they got fucking bored and tired because they couldn't find any of the congresspersons. They went on and breached the Senate floor after that. So your argument does not make sense. What do you mean they didn't stop? They did in that spot. Okay. But they still, in the aftermath, still breached through the Senate. Your take on Bryant was a defense attorney ass take, but you're right about Ashley not deserving to be murdered. They sure did not go through that door, though. Guys, they still breached through that door. Okay? Not in that moment, but they definitely breached through that door. They were on the other side. There's photos of it.
Straight for the Senate and will be at its doors in 2 minutes. Above them, the Senate is called into recess.
Boss, protesters are in the building. Thank you.
Members will evacuate down these stairs. In this hallway directly overhead the rioters, Officer Eugene Goodman is sprinting to overtake them. He passes Mitt Romney, who he warns to turn around. Reinforcements are following behind. Goodman overtakes the mob, goes downstairs and intercepts them. He holds them off while backup arrives upstairs. Behind these rioters and just feet away is an escape route where lawmakers and Senate staff are now fleeing. Just one officer stands guard. Keeping his composure, Goodman draws the mob away from that escape route to where reinforcements are waiting. He glances toward the Senate and realizes a door is unguarded. Goodman shoves the protester again, lures the mob away, and brings them into that line of fellow officers.
Is that baked Alaska?
Again, the rioters here are convinced.
I don't care what you say for Goodman did a fucking good job. No, I think he did. He did. I remember watching him. I don't know what his name was at the time, but I remember him like literally getting swarmed by these fucking sickos.
Their duty to defend democracy.
Hey, look, takes one to know one, okay? Hogs, kind of good at hog wrangling when the moment comes. You know what I mean?
The officers hold them off here, for now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Capitol, a few political leaders are evacuated.
Hey, guess what, by the way? He didn't murder anyone. I'm just saying, like...
From the House of Representatives. But despite a lockdown alert, proceedings here will resume.
The House will be in order.
We'll go there soon. First, we'll go to the crypt, in the centre of the Capitol, below the rotunda. The mob is already at its entrance. If they get through here, they will more easily fan out across the building.
Leftists are defending an insurrection. This is weird as fuck. Wait, what? Defending an insurrection? Are you fucking brain dead, dude? I swear to God, like, it doesn't matter if you're a leftist, liberal, right-winger. Like, some people are just literally have 3 brain cells, and they only fire off on, like, team sports, on the angle of team sports. What the fuck?
Rioters jostle with police here for 6 minutes, and then flood through.
Legit question, why'd you defend Rashard Brooks when he grabbed the cop's taser and ran and fired at him, but won't defend the 16-year-old holding a knife when they could have tasered her before he shot? Because Rashard Brooks was murdered when he was shot from behind. Rashard Brooks was running away. He conversed with the cops for 45 fucking minutes. Okay? It wasn't a police officer arriving on scene that then rolled up and shot him. Rashard Brooks also was not an immediate threat to someone else in the moment that he was shot. What the fuck is wrong with you people, dude? He didn't get shot while he was trying to stab someone with a fucking knife. As a random cop that just like rolled up on a fucking traffic stop decided to murder him. He was running away, dude. I'm so confused. Like, what do you not understand? The only reason why, and oh God, this is, okay. This is the same thing that people do when they like start saying like, oh, you didn't mention trigger warnings. And then all you want to do in that situation is just unlock an argument where your stupid fucking voice could be heard, okay? It's not about actually the efficacy of trigger warnings or anything like that. You're just a stupid baby, okay? And you just want, you're selfish, you're entitled, you just want your own voice to be heard. You are doing all you can to not understand that the top of the hour is here and there's a 60-second fucking ad break, dude. Okay? That's all you're doing. All you're fucking doing, dude. But if you'd like to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is fucking subscribe, dude. Okay? For $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Or you can use a fucking VPN or ad block. Here's the ad now. Okay. All jokes aside, I've set the boundaries numerous times. I've set the boundaries numerous times for what I think is appropriate versus inappropriate. You might have different points of view, but a lot of you lose sight of the sake of like moral consistency or something because you see red. And it's annoying. I think a lot of people on the left at the time, even now, disagree with you on your take regarding Bryant. Yeah, I know. They do. Yeah, there are a lot of members in my community that think I'm like racist now because of my argument at the time. The chatter compared a cop who talked to a dude for 40 minutes, then shot him in the back, to a cop arriving on the scene on a teenager with a knife, lunging at another teenager when he's arriving on the scene because he knows that there's a violent domestic dispute going on. Honestly, I didn't expect such a dumb take on this from Hasan. I'm sorry, this comparison of yours is just dumb. It's not the same nuance, dude. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Following since 12 minutes ago. Shooting an aggressive mob member trying to overthrow the government is actually proportional police violence. I don't think that she should have been shot. I don't. I said it at the time and I still maintain that position. I think that maybe they could have fucking caved her skull in with a goddamn baton. Okay? As she was trying to get in. Tased the fuck out of her. But if she actually fucking ran in and was legitimately a threat at that point, then yes, you can shoot the person. If she has like a weapon in her hands and she's about to like fucking attack someone, then yeah. Why is bashing her head in better than shooting her? Because it's one form of crowd control that doesn't involve immediately murdering someone. Okay? That's it.
It's now 2:24 p.m.
It's weird to compare police brutality to an event and an actual literal terrorist attack and a government coup. I won't lie. I think a lot of you guys don't think about this beyond the immediacy. Okay? You think about this as a standalone action that somehow will not justify endless amounts of brutality that the police will subject black people to, and the police will continue to subject black people to, rather. Okay? The justification is that BLM are the real terrorists. That's why the cops get to do all this shit. Okay? Shooting even in an insurrection like this should be literally the absolute last resort, dude.
Some 90 minutes after the siege began, and the mob is about to overrun the building.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
As this is happening, and as thousands more swell outside, Trump composes a tweet, not to calm his supporters, but to blame his vice president. He writes, "Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution." At this very time, Pence and his family are being taken to safety, along with an aide who's carrying the country's nuclear launch equipment. At 2:25 p.m, there's another major breach on the opposite side of the building, the east side. Rioters have been battling a handful of officers at these doors for almost half an hour. The tide turns when rioters who came through the crypt reach these doors and pull them open. Then an active duty Marine Corps officer, Christopher Warnagiris, keeps that door open for the mob to flood in.
Yeah, we are one of you. Exactly. He's right.
Just as elsewhere, this crowd is a mix of die-hard Trump supporters, but also more organized groups like the Oath Keepers.
So should that cop murder one of those guys, you think? Like, should he have just started murdering people there as they were walking in? Yeah, exactly. That's yeah, you guys literally just want to kill. You just want the fucking fascist police force to you're literally like you just want the fascist police forces to murder American citizens that you don't agree with. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's actually great, dude. I mean, that's like, you know, being a lefty is when you know, you take the czarist approach. White nationalism equals disagreement, keg W. Okay. I don't think you should I don't think you should allow the government to just fucking kill people that you consider to be white nationalists, some of which are actually legit straight up Nazis, but still. Okay? What the fuck? How many times have I said that Nazis also get healthcare? It doesn't matter if they're Nazis or not. They get healthcare. This is how this works. Okay?
Just as elsewhere, this crowd is a mix of die-hard Trump supporters, but also more organized groups like the Oath Keepers, who move in formation here toward that east side entrance. The Oath Keepers and their supporters continue to update each other.
Calling violent armed insurrectionists storming the Capitol people you don't agree with is a very five-head take. No, I see the context of the situation. They are violent, and they are insurrectionists. But ultimately, shooting them is not a good idea. If you're mad that they didn't shoot them, you should be livid that they didn't prosecute them. Because most of them got off completely. Okay, they got nothing. I'm in favor of clearing out the fucking rooms, okay? I'm in favor of beefing up security so that they don't even get to this point and using crowd control maneuvers that are actually justifiable in this situation. The way that cops treat Black Lives Matter protests is like literally the one instance where it would be justifiable to behave that way. And yet they didn't do that. So they fucked up there, number one, okay? Number two, they fucked up by letting people in to the halls regardless. Okay? But ultimately, I still believe in the sanctity of human life, and therefore, I think that the best thing to do in that situation is murderous, deadly force as a last resort. Okay? Also, killing them literally turns them into martyrs for their cause. The only time you shoot someone as a cop is if they're actually, like, in the process of directly harming someone. Anyway, let's keep going. They're going to say that the congresspersons were in close proximity to the congresspersons.
On the Zello chat app.
You forfeit life when you invade places. Okay, dude. That's crazy.
is a recess. We're going to yank them out of their seats.
The group enters the Capitol together. Proud Boys are near them, including Joe Biggs, the organizer we saw earlier. He's entering the building for a second time. The Oath Keepers fill the rotunda, along with hundreds of other rioters.
Took over the Capitol, overran the Capitol. We're in the fucking Capitol, bro.
Now the police inside the building are completely outnumbered and call for backup.
We need some additional squads in the rotunda. It's us versus about 200 people.
Throughout the Capitol, staffers have barricaded doors to keep the mob out. In Nancy Pelosi's chambers, staffers rush inside a conference room and lock 2 doors behind them. Just 12 minutes later,
I will repeat once again. The way that cops actually treat Black Lives Matter protesters are completely unacceptable. Okay? The escalation and the use of force in most of the BLM protests are completely unacceptable. Not because of their political point of view or anything like that, but it certainly is the reason why they behave that way. But this is one instance where they should be using that level of escalation and violent use of force. Because this is an instance where you are supposed to be protecting an area that, at the very least, needs to be cleared out. Once it's cleared out, they're going to fucking go in there. They're going to take photos, arrest all of them after the fact, jail them. Who gives a shit? Fuck them. Okay? As long as the staffers and the congressperson have been evacuated, that should be your main goal. Kettle and corral, baby. What happened? I thought that's what cops do.
rioters outside head straight for her offices and pile in. Huddled together under a table.
Leftism is about, and I hate to just openly say it, leftism is, or being anything beyond like aesthetically a lefty, means that even if you feel secretly deep down inside good that some fucking QAnon sicko got shot, you still have to fight against that urge, no matter how fucking bloodthirsty you may feel at that moment, okay, and see red, because that's not how you create an empathetic system, okay? That's the point. You need to be empathetic, and you need to be understanding, and you need to, you know, push back against your primal urges that scream inside of you like, no, these are fucking psychopathic right-wing terrorists. Okay?
Pelosi's staff record what's happening.
We need Capitol Police, I think. Coming to the hallway. They're pounding on doors trying to find her. Yeah.
One rioter tries to break into that same room. Inside, staffers are silent as they record him pounding. He gets through the first door, but the second door keeps him out. It's a scene that again shows just how compromised the US government has become.
Wait, what? Empathy. Wait, hold on. Ollie, you're such a fucking dumbass, dude. This fucking idiot said empathy does not happen during the violence. It happens after. Yeah. Well, since we're after the violence, then be empathetic, you fucking idiot. How about that? That's the point. Okay.
I think I like my new dining room. A little bit tired?
By 2:30 p.m., the Senate evacuation is well underway. But, even though a lockdown was called over 15 minutes ago, the House is still in session.
Do not accept Arizona's electors as certified.
Representative Jim McGovern is chairing.
There was like 11 different instances where that would have warranted kettling, corralling, tear gassing, beating the living shit out of people. You know what I mean? There were plenty of instances where they should have done that. There were a fuckload of bottlenecks, including the one where Ashley Babbitt got shot. I'm not Mr. fucking tactical, but ultimately there were better ways of dealing with the situation than like clapping one of them.
He told us he wanted to finish hearing objections to the election results by Paul Gosar. House staff and security gave McGovern the all clear to continue. It's a delay that likely costs someone their life. Suddenly, staff are now pointing at the chamber's doors.
Please be advised there are masks under your seats. Please grab a mask, place it in your lap, and be prepared to don your mask in the event that we get a breach.
Just outside, a mob of 100 or more is baying to get into them.
Well, we came this far. What do you say? Drag them out!
These rioters pay little heed to the thin line of police.
They're going. Yeah, I would just stop, bro.
And in moments are pushing against the doors into the house. On the other side, Capitol Police erect a barricade and draw their guns.
Boys, I never said that they were trying to have a reasonable combo. I hope you don't misunderstand me. Just for the record, like I know there's white supremacists. They want to do murder. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they want to just have a combo. Okay, so please don't put those words in my mouth.
Guns.
You're a traitor. No, don't.
On the floor, lawmakers are evacuated to the rear of the chamber, where in a few minutes a rioter will be shot and killed. Part of the mob outside now peels off in that direction to find a different way in.
No, people are running that way.
Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran and QAnon supporter, is among the first to arrive at the rear of the house. They see the lawmakers escaping. That lobby might have been clear had the house been evacuated sooner, but the rioters now become incensed. Zachary Allen, a Trump supporter from Pennsylvania.
Like, that dude, here's what happens there, okay? This is the moment where you fucking whip the batons out, okay? Electrocute every one of these motherfuckers. This is where you start tear gassing, okay? I know they show her getting shot. I know. That is an immediate threat. I don't think he should have been shot, though.
Pennsylvania punches in the glass panels with his bare fists. Police are stretched extremely thin.
$300 hat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Canada Goose hat, by the way. Canada Goose hat, by the way. Working class, by the way. I mean, you can be working class and have a Canada Goose hat, but just remember that all of these dudes are like small business owners. Not a single one of them are like real fucking workers, because real workers were too busy working to be able to take a fucking week off to do a fucking terrorism vacation in the Capitol. Just hit him with batons, 3 versus 50. You guys make the argument that, like, here's what I don't understand, dude. So, first of all, the cops on the other side shot them, just for the record. The cops on the other side. There's cops on the other side of the fucking speaker's lobby door. That's who shot them, not these guys. So if you think that, like, there's a problem there, if you think that there is, like, an issue there with the way that these guys would have handled it, then they shouldn't have shot. These guys couldn't have shot them either. You get that, right? So you can't make the argument that, like, one of these guys should have shot them. Why? They would have been overpowered if they did that as well. And then their guns would have been taken away from them, and then they would be using those guns. Like, you're making up hypotheticals in this situation. So dangerous to shoot in there like that. He could have hit a fellow cop. They probably would have.
Just 3 officers and a security staffer stand guard. None are wearing riot gear, and they keep their weapons holstered.
It's fucking nuts that this was like... It's nuts that this is the little amount of security that they had.
When a team of heavily armed police now arrives, the 3 officers step aside. This creates a crucial gap that allows rioters to smash in the glass. A warning, what happens next is graphic. It's 2:44 p.m. and behind the door, a police officer draws his
Here, I'll show you up to this point. They're like
handgun.
They're breaking the fucking window.
There's a gun! There's a gun!
Hey, he's got a gun!
The cop literally fucking pulls his gun out. They say he's got a gun, and then that's the moment where Ashley Babbitt gets killed behind this barricade. From behind a barricade, a cop just pulls his gun out and shoots Ashley Babbitt.
Babbitt vaults into the window.
Here's Ashley Babbitt's last moments, vaulting through the window, trying to get in.
And the officer shoots her once.
Boom. There is no way that I can believe that the U.S. intelligence not shot from behind a barricade. No, she got no, the cop is literally behind a barricade and she's trying to get through a fucking window and he just shoots her. They're actually just going to skip the rioters telling those cops to abandon their post because it makes the cops look bad. Fuck New York Times. No, they briefly show it. They briefly show that the rioters are like, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Just let us in, let us in, let us through. The ironic thing is that she was shot once while committing a crime, but any black guy in Oakland will be lit up like a Christmas tree for no real reason. Okay, but you know that I don't advocate for that, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you guys make it seem like cops are a force of nature, that they're gonna murder, okay? So you would rather, have them murder someone that is a psychotic QAnon supporter rather than a black person. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they shouldn't murder. Okay? At this point, the entirety on the other side, at this point, the entire fucking armed police force is like literally right there. As the New York Times also pointed out. Start fucking tear gassing that hallway. Beat the shit out of Ashley Babbitt. Take advantage of the barricade that you've placed. Start tasing people. That's hindsight. Okay, well, we are analyzing the situation in the aftermath, so I don't know why you're... Dude, you guys all sound fucking like conservatives who justify police killings. I'm just letting you know. That's hindsight, baby. He looked dangerous at the time. Or sometimes when they are actually in the process of being a danger. That was the only armed person behind that barricade. Where do you see the whole police force? Did you not see them talk about the police leaving because the armed guards have now come in to the fray? Anyway, let's keep going.
It's a fatal wound through the upper chest. Inside the chamber, the floor is clear, but lawmakers in the balcony are sheltering in place.
Everybody stay down! Get down!
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
Pins off.
They now remove the breastpins that identify them as members of Congress. A group of rioters who almost made it to the balcony are held at gunpoint as it's finally evacuated.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy that the armed forces, the armed officers that have like riot shields and shit came in and actually stopped the breach. But that's weird. Doesn't seem like there was one cop there, but I guess like him shooting and killing Ashley Babbitt is the reason why they were leaving. Damn.
Now Trump supporters have achieved.
Just because there is a more justifiable reason to shoot Ashley Babbitt doesn't mean it's like actually justifiable for the cops to shoot someone, okay? I don't know why you guys keep saying this. Of course, it's more justifiable for Ashley Babbitt to be shot, literally breaching a fucking government building, than a random black person that was skateboarding or some shit, or Tamir Rice. I'm not saying that. I don't know why you guys literally think that, like, there is no level of nuance to this. It's either, like, cops are fucking justifiable to escalate and murder someone, or they're not. Okay? It's very fucking annoying. Why did this guy say 15K Andy?
Achieved their goal, stopping the election certification.
Defend your liberty! Yes! Defend your Constitution!
Because you literally equate it to that? Your takes are shit as fuck? No. There are varying degrees. Okay? Don't move on. Chat deserves every second of the stun lock. I mean, it's not even a fucking... It's not even a stun lock. This is like... 27, 25, because obviously you don't want to pay attention to the video. That barricade was the only thing holding the evacuation point. No, we saw it. They describe it. You're the only one treating this with no nuance. Some murder is okay. Got it. On this day, you had 100K viewers? No, I had more than that. And I said the exact same thing back then. But for some reason, people were just like not as aggro about it, I think.
And while the House is evacuated, at the other side of the building, the Senate is occupied.
Treason! Treason! Treason!
On the Senate floor, they leaf through lawmakers' files.
There's gotta be something in here we can fucking use against the scumbags.
Mug for photos. Pray.
Shooting her work, though? They all ran away? That's not true. What do you mean they all ran away? They're literally... What are you talking about? They fucking breached, dog. What are you talking about? And the ones that didn't fucking breach ran away because the armed people that were behind... The armed people that were behind that one cop that fucking shot her were apprehended by those fucking armed cops. Hasan defending terrorists. Name something new, lol. Wait, what? I don't understand this take. Like, you... What? Like, what level, what political approach is this? Like, what is this person's ideology? That they're like... You're ignoring the video. The crowd actually left after Ashley Babbitt was shot. Quit defending terrorists. One less terrorist alive is a good thing? Bro. Baboons like you are the reason why Guantanamo Bay still operates. I'm sorry, man. Like, you're literally the fucking reason why. You are literally the reason why Americans are so fucking hyper reactionary, dude. Oh my god, dude. This is so psychotic. You guys suck ass and dicks and balls. Just all the way. Fuck me, dude. Holy shit.
And leave a message for Mike Pence.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
As rioters inside have been rampaging throughout the Capitol, the crowd outside has grown. And that first battle has continued raging. For almost 2 hours, officers face off with rioters who say they support the police.
We've backed you forever. We've backed the blue forever.
But assault them anyway. We're going to show what happened here because it demonstrates yet again how failures by Capitol Police leaders to prepare put the safety of these officers at risk.
Leftists have a long story global history of using extreme violence versus the far right, so while your opinion is as valid as any other, I don't think it's accurate to say leftists don't preach or engage in violence is an evolved opinion, but not a leftist one. No, of course. Of course. But I'm not a fucking idiot who thinks that, like, you can achieve things without any fraction of violence. I also tell you that violence is a constant in the political system. As a matter of fact, politics is about the distribution of justifiable violence. This is something that I believe, and this is something that I understand, rather. Okay? That's precisely why Chad is also simultaneously yelling at me about a fucking case where a cop killed a 17-year-old black girl by the name of Micaiah Bryant for lunging at another black teenage girl with a knife. And saying that in that instance, the cop should have done nothing, but in this instance, the cop is okay for killing someone. Do you not understand that? So clearly, I do have a limit, or I do have a barrier where I consider violence to be appropriate. Do you not get it? Anyway. So clearly I don't have a, there should never be violence ever, and cops should never engage in use of force ever. There is always going to be a point where use of force is justifiable. As a matter of fact, I'm even saying that they should have applied more force here. Should shoot when it's an armed attack? No, for fuck's sake, you're right, but for the wrong reasons. You watched a video of how the EU police handle their armed attacks, and you still have this reasoning. Your position is right, but your reasoning is for when to use live fire. Scuffed. Lolliet. I understand. I have defended a victim of police violence when they had a fucking knife in the past in Philadelphia. Not every situation with an armed assailant is the same. I don't know why you guys try to fucking just level the context out until there is no nuance in any sort of situation, so you feel like your position is more defendable. Yes, I'm not saying as long as you have a fucking knife in your hand, it's justifiable for the cops to kill you. Okay, I'm not even saying that. Even then, there are plenty of ways to deal with it by de-escalation. God damn it, dude.
Capitol Police had been ordered to withhold some of their stronger weapons. But as soon as Robert Glover, a Metro Police inspector, arrives, he calls for his munitions team to help.
Mr. 50, give me a DSO team. DSO team. DSO team to respond to the west front of the Capitol.
When the building is breached, Glover knows he needs to retreat and seeks advice from Capitol leaders.
I need a command official from Capitol so we can coordinate where they want us to pull back to. We cannot hold this without more munitions or more manpower.
But Capitol don't respond. He asks 4 times.
I need to know.
Again, remember kettling and corralling, use of fucking force that greatly escalates the situation, and what my opinions were on it with respect to the Black Lives Matter protests? This is when you're supposed to do those tactics, okay? This is an instance where you're literally supposed to do that. I hope you understand that. That is a gross escalation of force that is only appropriate in certain circumstances. This is an actual mob where it is appropriate to use that. tear gas, rubber bullets, kettling and corralling, pushing them into choke points, and then, you know, zip tying all of these fucking hogs as quickly as you can.
Capital, where do they want to go back to?
I don't know, Hassan, if you didn't tell me this was January 6th, it would just look like a normal tourist visit. Yeah, exactly. A normal tourist visit where I will be pushing up, you know, couches and stuff and pews to the doors in the halls of Congress. I do stuff like that all the time on normal tourist visits. I also, for the record, don't think that it's appropriate to start firing on people here. Just letting you know. I don't think it's appropriate to start firing on people in the crowd here as well. Because they're storming the Capitol building doesn't mean you should just, like, start fucking clapping dudes. Okay, I gotta pee.
Police lose the line.
There's a bit that we lost the line. We've lost the line. LMPD, pull back.
We the people! We are the storm!
Rioters knock an officer over, throw a fire extinguisher.
USA!
Glover issues at 10:33, a call of last resort.
1033, I repeat, 1033, west front of the Capitol. We have been pranked and we've lost the line.
On the 1033, have all units respond to assist him. Do what we're trained to do.
Crazed rioters hound the police even as they retreat to the upper level.
Get out of here! Take your big sorry asses and back up in there! Run your sorry asses off!
Police now begin to guard this doorway, an iconic centerpiece of presidential inaugurations. But for another 2 hours, the same pattern will repeat. Rioters fill the terrace, instigators trigger a frenzy, and tragically, someone will die. A brutal fight erupts in the doorway. The mob heaves in a coordinated scrum.
Okay.
And when police finally push them out, they face even worse violence.
Just like my visit to the Capitol, me too. I'm always going to the Capitol and you know, doing stuff like this.
They are tased, gassed, and robbed of their equipment. They're beaten with a crutch, a hockey stick, and even an American flag. At least 4 officers are pulled into the crowd.
Fucking nuts, dude. The fact that they didn't just go balls to the fucking wall, buck wild, like many different moments even before this, and certainly after, blows my fucking mind, dude. Like, why do we have a police force, dude? Like, you literally do nothing, dog. You do nothing. This is where you're supposed to be aggressive. It's fucking insane, dude. pick a fucking side. Do you think I'm siding with the conservatives, you fucking dingus, when I say Ashley Babbitt should not have been fucking murdered? Like, you think that my position is that she's like good and smart and was doing something that was lawful and appropriate, and like that's what your opinion is here? I guess it really doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. You just have like a hog-like mentality. Pick a side. I usually like you, man, but your takes today are so wild as cringe. Here's the reality, folks, okay? I have a lot of positions that come across as weird to you because you're, in a lot of instances, just getting fed the same kind of self-reinforcing takes from the echo chambers that you're in. Okay? This is the same approach that I get. This is the same attitude that I hear from my own leftist community when I talk about how, like, one, Nazis deserve healthcare as well by virtue of being human beings, okay? And that is a way to address the material conditions that, like, literally will make it harder for Nazis to exist or more Nazis to exist. And same approach from chat whenever I say things like, we should focus on rehabilitation rather than incarceration. And the immediate take from chat, from a lot of chatters, is always, you're assuming that disagreeing with you here is without nuance? I do think so, yes. I think that there are people here that legitimately believe that state violence is appropriate against those that they disagree with. I think there are people who believe that state violence was appropriate in that circumstance because that person was an immediate threat to the lives of like every congressman on the other side, and that the only way to stop that at the bottleneck was by murdering one of those people. Okay? We have a minor disagreement in that condition. If your take is that state violence is almost always inappropriate, but in that situation, the only way that they could stop the overflow of chuds from running into the halls of Congress was to shoot one of them, then we have a minor disagreement. I'm not saying what Ashley Babbitt was doing was good. I'm not agreeing with any of the fucking chuds. I'm even going so far as to say violence in this situation would have prevented further violence from occurring. Not violence like shooting them up, lighting them up with a fucking gun, but rubber bullets and the regular kettling and corralling tactics that cops use on Black Lives Matter protesters every goddamn fucking time. Okay? This is actually, and only until everyone is evacuated from the building, by the way. After that, just let them fucking wear themselves out and then continue engaging in kettling and corralling and arresting people. Motherfucker that said pick a side is the same person who then can't understand why hogs blindly believe Trump.
One dragged by his own helmet, face down. And again, the frenzy turns fatal.
I mean, that person wasn't dead, but still, it's just like, I worry about showing certain stuff. The whole don't murder people, engaging in war and endangering lives and committing treason thing. Wait, what? So I don't get it. Like, should all of these dudes get fucking clapped? They're all doing terrorism and they're all doing an insurrection. Would the cops have been justified in like killing all of them? Oh my god, dude. Everyone is throwing up yeps. Wait, what the fuck? Are you guys serious? Holy shit, dude. Okay. You guys are fucking freaks, dude. No wonder the American government gets to be as draconian as it wants. No wonder the American government gets to fucking murder people. Jesus Christ. Yeah, just start gunning everybody down, dude. They should have just busted out the fucking M64 and just mowed through the fucking lawn.
Roseanne Boyland, a Trump supporter who has been swept up by QAnon conspiracies, is...
Why scrutinize cops all the time, brother? No, yeah, sure, straight up. I shouldn't be. I'm actually pro cop with the rest of the chat.
Moving toward the door. But amid the scrum, she collapses and is lying unconscious beneath the mob.
That person that fucking collapsed and they trampled over her was literally waving. Fucked up, but I was literally waving a "Don't tread on me" flag. The irony is just aggressive.
As the crowd sarcastically chants a Black Lives Matter slogan, Boylan's friend, Justin Winchell, tries to pull her to safety. He screams for help.
You can't see her, but he's like literally looking for help. That's a different person, by the way. That's not... That person didn't die.
But instead, fellow rioters trample over Boyland and charge at the police again.
Look at how horny these motherfuckers are. Look at this shit. They do this and you still support them? Wait, what? Support who? For the record, like, even here, this is a more justifiable use of deadly force than in that situation. Why are you surprised some of us don't care what happens to hogs? Because it's not about what happens to hogs. It's about what force of use is justifiable in your eyes. Because at this point, it's like, this dude is literally fucking just directly assaulting a cop.
Boyland will be pronounced dead at a local hospital in the evening.
Those guys should have at least been charged with murdering Boyle. You know what I mean? They like literally trampled over her to get to the cops and kill the cop.
By the end of the day, rioters have breached and entered the building and...
I guess it's pretty tough for cops to justify canning a dude even if he's attacking police, considering there are 100 plus people directly behind him in the line of fire too. Yeah, I mean, they also were not going to fire that other cop for killing Ashley Babbitt. That would have been insane. They literally give you paid vacation when you murder unarmed black kids on the street. You think they're gonna fucking literally punish someone for murdering an insurrectionist? Of course not. This is the first time I heard 5 people died at the insurrection. Cops died at the insurrection. I don't know if you didn't know that at all or not.
At least 8 locations. There's the first breach, which we've seen, when rioters smashed through 2 windows and a door. Beside that, a rioter with a crowbar smashes in a second door and then opens it to hundreds of people.
A couple cops killed themselves too.
Others smash a window next to the inauguration door
I think
and
2
climb
or 1.
inside.
I don't know. I don't know if it was related to this though. No, 1 cop died on that day. Didn't he? I thought a cop died on that day. Yeah, 1 got like...
At this entrance, police stand aside and allow rioters to stream in unchallenged.
Or, well, I mean, they were... A lady with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag was trampled to death. Yeah, we already saw that. I guess where we differ is that for me, her death was tragic and she didn't deserve to die for a fucking Facebook conspiracy theory. But in that moment, the Secret Service agent was justified in his actions. One on the day, 1 of suicide the day after.
On the north side of the building, police in riot gear yield and let the crowd in. Another 3 breaches are on the east side, 2 by the central doors into the rotunda, and this southeast door leading to the House chamber. It's the arrival of more Metropolitan Police and other agencies that finally turns the tide. When those officers enter the rotunda, they clear it in just 20 minutes. As the mob is pushed back through the east doors, their rage turns to Mike Pence, who Trump attacked earlier.
I think if Ashley Babbitt... Okay, let me point this out again. I think Ashley Babbitt breaching through and lunging at someone is different than Ashley Babbitt getting shot while she's in the process of breaching. Okay? That's the difference for me as far as the use of deadly force. I'm not looking at it as an individual act of violence versus a cop doing an individual act of like disproportionate retaliation. I'm saying that I know that they're fucking bloodthirsty. I know that they're trying to break through. But there are always, LMAO, there's no difference. If you don't think that there's any difference, you're fucking dumb. There is absolutely a difference, dude. There is absolutely a fucking difference. The issue is there is a mob there that is trying to break through. That is what is known as a choke point, okay? It's a bottleneck. That man is holding off the bottleneck. Defending a bottleneck by murdering someone is not the same as defending someone else's life that is in direct threat. If you consider Ashley Babbitt's murder to be justifiable, then you should also consider that all those other people that are trying to attempt to breach through that choke point could be killed. And it's justifiable. Like all of those other people that were like breaking the windows, like they should be killed as well by that same cop. I don't agree with that. I think that that is an indefensible position. Okay? Especially when the armed police was behind them, but still the armed police was there. And they obviously cleared it. Not because Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed, but they cleared it because they were there. It's a show of force. In most of these circumstances, a show of force is all that's necessary. Their lines were thin. The cops' lines were thin. And that is the reason why they were able to be overpowered this way. But it wasn't because someone got killed where everyone was like, oh shit, we really got out of hand. Especially because if you think that murder is the reason why people de-escalated, then why don't you think murder in all the other situations would have further escalated the tensions? That's why I said there were... I'm not even saying that he should not have used any force whatsoever. I did say that he should have used force. I just don't think that shooting someone in that situation is the justifiable use of force. Barricaded, guns drawn. Yeah, I should be fine to smash out this window and crawl through for a chat, right? Dude, if that's literally your attitude, I'm glad that you're not a fucking cop, okay? You're missing what I'm trying to say. Have you watched the Ashley Babbitt video on this stream? The barricade was still working and the only entrance to the hallway was a window that one small person could get through at a time. Yeah, exactly. And all the fucking armed hogs were behind them. The hog cops were there. They were ready to fucking, you know. Hey, let's keep going. She was warned several times. What do you expect? Yeah, you're right, dude. Hey, when a cop warns you several times, it's okay. If you get killed, sorry, you didn't comply. Wow. Fuck. Fuck, dude.
Here. Metro officers also stop other rioters from entering on the west side, where the mob first broke in.
I'm too libby on this take. Yeah, dude. Yeah, liberals certainly disagree with me on. I mean, liberals certainly agree with me on, you know, police force in this situation. Are you stupid? You guys are the liberals who love that the cops murdered a fucking QAnon supporter. It's actually the libs that are fucking celebrating this shit. That's why we call it Blue MAGA.
But here too, we see a crowd empowered by the belief that they're carrying out some patriotic duty.
I was invited here by the president!
Over the course of the day, 150 police officers are injured. After 4 p.m, Metro and Capitol Police regain control of the upper levels. The final parts of the interior are cleared by other law enforcement, including federal agencies. Tear gas and flashbangs disperse the crowd on the inauguration terrace. The Virginia State Police and Arlington County Police help to reclaim that area.
Literally, all you need to say is she should have been arrested once she got through. She shouldn't have been killed, yes, but you aren't proposing alternatives. No, you dumb fuck. You're not hearing the alternatives because you're so fucking bloodthirsty. I said like 10 times so far. There were numerous alternatives of how to deal with this fucking person that was trying to crawl to a fucking tiny ass space. Beating the shit out of them and then arresting them was one of them. I literally said that so many fucking times, dude. God damn it, dude.
Then rioters are swiftly pushed off Capitol grounds by a reinforced police line. Only now, more than 3 hours after Capitol Police first called them, do National Guard soldiers arrive.
You can defuse and turn down right now!
Troops were staging just 20 minutes away, but a recent procedural change meant the highest level of the Pentagon had to approve deployment. And Pentagon officials delayed the decision, partially in fear of bad optics, even as the Capitol was being overrun. As calm returns, the president tweets again. He repeats that the election had been stripped away, calls his supporters great patriots, and says, "Remember this day forever." The aftermath of January 6th has been as divisive as the lie that launched it. Even as one arm of government has indicted hundreds of rioters, Republican lawmakers continue efforts to normalize what happened with a mix of denials and conspiracy theories.
Some of the people who breached the Capitol today were not Trump supporters.
I knew those are people that love this country, that truly respect law enforcement, would never do anything to break a law, And so I wasn't concerned.
They include Paul Gosar, who'd been at the Trump rally.
If you understand that these methods exist to subdue people with knives, why is your take still that Brian deserved it when, in my opinion, neither Babbitt nor Brian should have died? Okay. I'm going to repeat myself one last time. If Ashley Babbitt had a knife and was lunging towards a fucking congressperson with a knife, do you really think that I would be sitting here saying, I can't believe they didn't subdue her in a non-violent capacity? I mean, make no mistake. I think it's a justifiable use of force in that completely made-up hypothetical if you are trying to make a one-to-one comparison between Ashley Babbitt and Ma'Khia Bryant. Oh my God. Please stop asking me the same thing over and over and over again.
Is harassing peaceful patriots across the country.
And Andrew Clyde, who we saw earlier, standing just a few feet from rioters.
There was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a
5 cops
lie.
died, they were non-violent? No, 5 cops didn't die. And no, they were violent. They were. Of course it was a violent mob. I'm not saying that it wasn't a violent mob. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? How do you not understand that there is a difference between defending a life of a human being and defending property? Okay? Saying she needed a knife to be considered a threat is like saying someone isn't being racist until they say the N-word. You are a fucking idiot, dude. I'm sorry. You are actually a fucking moron. And your moronic reasons, your moronic justifications for police use of force is unironically the same reason why cops get away with so much bullshit.
Republican leaders have blocked an independent investigation that could have brought new details to light.
I've made the decision to oppose the House Democrats' slanted and unbalanced proposal for another commission to study the events of January the 6th.
And in May, a top Republican was ousted from the party's leadership after blaming...
Didn't address chatter? What was the dumbass chatter's take? Here, you want me to just keep repeating it over and over again? Is that what you want? You just want me to keep repeating my position over and over again, it seems like. Because I think that's what it is. But dude, you don't provide alternatives. No, I did. I did. Numerous times. You're just not listening to it. Maybe a 60-second ad break will calm you down a little bit. No, he was talking about the guy who called you a dumbass and you didn't respond to him. Was a compliment probably. Yes, repeat your position until you stop defending terrorists. Dude, you are so bloodthirsty, brother. Like, really, you are incredibly bloodthirsty. That's crazy. Stop defending terrorists. Defending terrorists is when I say they should beat the shit out of these people and gas them until they push back, but maybe not murder them while they're crawling through a fucking tight-ass window. That's my defense of terrorists. Anyway, I'm running a fucking ad. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's so dumb. Yeah, actually ban that guy. What the fuck am I doing? He just keeps saying I'm defending terrorists. Why am I not banning this person? What the fuck is wrong with me? Where is he? 6-month sub. Thinks he could just like get away with this idiotic shit. Where is the guy? Where is it? Where is his fucking... Oh, Buckeye 1994. Oh, Rickalaf clapped him already. All right, bye-bye, Buckeye.
Blaming Trump for inspiring the riot.
And I think that the party is in a place...
There were no riot control officers in the hallway between Babbitt, the mob, and literal members of Congress. Holy shit. literal members of Congress at that point had evacuated. And yes, there were fucking literal members of, or there was a riot police behind them.
That we've got to bring it back from.
None of what happened on January 6th would have been possible without a huge mass of ordinary people who were proud of what they achieved. Millions around the country still believe the violence was not only justified, but necessary. And the forces that brought them there have not gone away.
Yeah, the Patriots are coming back, yo. Hopefully y'all will be on our side when that happens.
I'm Haley Willis, one of the reporters on this investigation.
This is pretty good. This is a good video.